We like to believe that death is a finality, a door that, once closed, stays locked forever. But in the quietest corners of the world, there are things that wait for that door to crack just a little. It was a Tuesday in a town so small the silence felt heavy. He lived alone, no wife, no children, just the rhythmic ticking of a wall clock and the echoes of his own footsteps. He had just finished his evening prayers. The room was still warm with the scent of incense, and then it cut through the silence.
Amir?
The voice came from the front yard. It was soft, gentle, and it belonged to his mother, who had been buried in the local cemetery for exactly 3 years. Most people think they would run, but grief does strange things to the mind. At first, he froze. His heart didn't race, it stopped. "I'm imagining it," he whispered to the empty room. The wind, the old house settling. He sat back down. But then it happened again.
Amir, please, come outside.
It was clearer now, closer. It had that specific lilt his mother used when she was worried. That slight crack in the vowels. He stood up, drawn toward the door like a moth to a flame. His hand reached for the cold metal of the doorknob. But as his fingers brushed the lock, the air in the hallway turned ice cold. He stopped. He listened, not with his ears, but with his gut. The voice called again, but this time it slipped. The R at the end of his name dragged a second too long. It sounded metallic, distorted, like a recording being played through a broken speaker, or something struggling to form human words with a throat that wasn't made of flesh. He backed away from the door and moved to the window. He peeled back the curtain just an inch. The front yard was bathed in the pale, sickly light of the moon. The grass was still. No footprints, no shadow. Terrified, he grabbed his phone. He called his neighbor, a man who had lived in that town for 70 years. "Come over, now, please." When the neighbor arrived, he didn't knock. He used his spare key and burst in. They stood together in the dark hallway. For 30 seconds, there was nothing. Then,
Amir, why won't you come out?
the neighbor's face didn't just turn pale, it turned gray. He grabbed Amir's arm with a grip like iron and whispered 4 words that would haunt him forever. "Don't answer that voice." He pulled Amir away from the window. "That isn't your mother," the old man said, his voice trembling. "That is something that has been waiting for her voice to become a memory so it could use it as a mask." Later that week, a local sheikh explained the reality of the situation. In many traditions, these are known as the Jinn, specifically those who mimic the dead to prey on the grieving. They don't call you to talk, they call you to invite. Once you answer, once you acknowledge the entity as your loved one, you give it permission, you open the door. Some say that those who follow the voice into the dark are never found, or worse, they come back, but the person inside the skin has been replaced. Amir moved the following month. He left the furniture, the house, the memories, but the silence followed him. Amir still has the dreams, the sleep paralysis, the feeling of a hand resting on his shoulder in the dark. He knows she's gone, but the voice in his head still sounds exactly like her. So, I have to ask you, if you were alone and you heard the person you miss most in this world calling your name from the darkness, would you have the strength to keep the door locked?